Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. Now, Selvon Noel, also known as Mistah Shak, he posted that reality, rebellion, upliftment, freedom, busted, pecan, in case you didn't know, all that in Kaiso. Now, we host a musical reasoning by that name with our guest, Kaisonian musician, music educator, researcher, Tammico Spicey More, and Kaisonian multi-talented musician, producer, the Dread Wizard, Sharlan Bailey. So I want to say thank you to both of you for making the time. I also want to welcome you and say happy belated birthday, Miss Bush Monarch. But we want to start with you, please.
Hello,
In terms of,
thank you
I'm just
very
saying.
much. Taken.
But I want to ask you though, please, Spicey, what makes a good Kaiso? Whether or not when you have it in your hand or you perform, when they say, yes, man, this one real.
What makes a good Kaiso? A strong topic, good lyrics, beautiful melody, wonderful delivery. What else we talking about here, boy? And personality. Well, for me, personality.
All right, and I want to give you a chance to mash up the dance, please, Mr. Bailey. And I'll see the same question. What makes a good Kaiso?
It is not what makes a good Kaiso, is who making a good Kaiso. I mean, when a good Kaiso, you doesn't know it, you don't have to think about it. When it comes, the ideas fascinate you and all. That is excited to share it with people. They see the same when they hear it. A good Kaiso is just a blend of good melody, good topic, and good delivery.
I like the fact that you talk about that blend because sometimes the topic strong, but everything kind of fall down. So I think that blend makes sense. Yeah. But I want to talk a little bit about once more, please.
No, I said the blend important because I mean you don't want to put major chords behind sad lyrics. How you have happy music to sad lyrics? You have to complement it.
Now, well, sometimes I think people do some interesting things sometimes and get through it, but you have to know the rules in order to break them successfully sometimes. But I want to talk a little bit of my business, Spicey, to ask you yours, because in 2004, which is the year that I thought that Brian London was going to win Calypso Monarch, but I guess all that in Kaiso. My brother and myself, we were actually a part of Kaiso Showcase. And there was a fellow who was singing about what in the dark does come to light. Now, I hear that fellow who described himself as a bagged fellow. I hear he related to you. So I'm asking in terms of like breed, but some of those other influences on you and your music. Talk to me about that now.
Talk to you about my daddy there or talk to you about my influences?
So you said, so daddy there was not influence?
Well, I actually influenced him to join the tent, not to sing or anything like that, you know, because my father was more than just a Kaisonian. He was a parandero. You understand? He had a band that used to play reggae with a couple of his brothers and some other musicians. He was from the countryside, so it was country musicians now, you know. But I started in Kaiso before my father. So I guess it's after he come and see me mash up the place, he get jealous and say, well, she can't do that by herself. I go have to join.
And even the way you say that, the way that you be talking and giving something, he face kind of deadpan, but he off the back foot. But there's this kind of humor with it. It really reminds me of him, and may he rest in power. It's kind of way. But writing, and you say mashing up the party, and you're winning from a pound hard local to this all over the place everywhere you go. What are some of those things in terms of like your process? Do you have an idea or do you hear a melody? Which one do you hear first, the melody and then the music? Or you have an idea that you want to explore? Because even like this line from you, Mr. Bailey, I want to be less concerned watching what I earn. I want to ask you about your process, please. I'll start with you, please, Spicey.
My process, I don't know how to explain it. So, all right. So I might be walking down the road, somebody say something. For instance, the advice. The advice is a good example to use. The season was coming close and I didn't write no song yet. And that Sunday morning, I tell Bailey, I said, Bailey, let me go outside. Let me go down the road. I'm going to look for a song. We went, we sit down outside a bar. And these men were having a conversation about their love life and the relationship. And then one man turned and say, boy, you can't sit down and take all them things, you know, once you know how to come, you have to know how to go. And I tell Bailey, when I put my bottle to my head, I say, Bailey, we could go now.
Message
and I
received.
went home and write the song. So it was just a line that I heard somebody say, and it sparked the idea. So it could come from anywhere. It could come from anywhere. 2009, the whip, it was a experience that I had traveling because I used to do casino gigs. So I traveling from a casino gig. And the taxi that I took to get to my destination, the driver wanted more than my taxi fare. And I end up writing the whip, Cat O' Nine Tail. You understand? So it has come from anywhere and everywhere at any time. You just have to be ready to receive it.
And I want to ask you that question as well too, because there's many times there'll be a particular line that just, I carry that and I have that so I could pull it out for some occasion. So like even when you're talking about the advice, you'll climb a lime tree, but it's after the bacchanal that you realize that it's a picker in this thing, the influence kind of change out.
Yes.
Or that this kind of thing that we could use like a hymn, like a chant, right round the corner, Mr. Bailey. So what goes? What's your process? You hear that line, you hear the melody. Which comes first?
Yeah, good boy. I don't really have a process. My process is not a process. I just allow songs to write itself. So there's no sit down with a piece of paper because I do write down stuff. I do write down songs because sometimes 3, 4 come at the same time, and the time it takes to find a pen and a book, you lost all. So years ago in my life, I stopped writing. So I was just sitting and it will come. I mean, very rarely I'm in a situation where piece of music or melody comes first. That's rare. I mean, right on the corner would have been this movement musical movement that been hitting me for some years. But I just never take it on because I just always love things that manifest itself. I don't write no song. I just have vessel. So it's just about letting something come and allowing it to take charge. And when you allow the energy to take charge, you just be the vessel and receive. You know, I'm don't have a process sometimes. I just write back to front. Sometimes I might come and sing the last verse here over and over and over, and all of a sudden, boom, one day in 20 minutes, I'll write a whole song. You know, and sometimes it's just be a hook that's tormenting. Sometimes in the moment, I mean, I remember writing this song for Lady Adana called Ready for the Truth. And that was a 25-minute song. The minute it hit, it finished. You know, so I really have a direct process. I just love it to happen.
No, like glad we having this talk because that one too, and even like the way that she delivered, just in front. You don't need to run around the place, point finger, but just it's best I lie to you because you were ready. but we're ready to get a little information about all that in Kaiso. Thank you. So I don't know who's gonna start, but giving us an idea why have this event. What are some of the things that took place? I don't know if you went and get a little inspiration by the bar again, but what went on to say, okay, let me do this?
All that in Kaiso is something I've always been in the making because myself, Mr. Noel Shak, and Spicey, we always been doing work together. I mean, there are a couple of times I guest in Mr. Shak's show, Mr. Shak guest in Spicey show. You know, we always been doing work together. I think what happened is that after this carnival, we didn't take part in the tent. It wasn't a unanimous decision. Each person took a personal step away from the tent. And I mean, Kaiso in tent. And Kaiso is not about the tent alone. So we decided here, let me showcase we work, but showcase it in a different aspect. So all that in Kaiso, you're going to see 3 different styles of the thing, three different styles of band, anything. I mean, you go see some musicianship, you go see some musicians, you might even see a DJ, you know, because all that in Kaiso is fed too.
We take a short break and we come back. We're talking about all that in Kaiso. We're doing it with Tammico Spicey More as well as Sharlan the Dread Wizard Bailey. Stay with us. We return with more. Welcome back. We are speaking with Tammico Spicey More, Sharlan Dread Wizard Bailey. We are speaking about all that in Kaiso, which is something coming up. We know we didn't talk time, date, location, but at the same time we will get to that. But looking at that individual decision taken by the three of you, Spicey, Dread Wizard, Mistah Shak, to showcase your work outside of the tent. I want to ask a little more about that, please, Spicey. And I don't know if you're going to walk with your bag of honesty, but talk some of the things.
No, it's not the first time that we doing Kaiso shows outside of the carnival season. And the word season for carnival, I want to detach it from Kaiso, right? The carnival is the carnival, but Kaiso shouldn't have a season. And that was one of the reasons that we decided to do this show when we're doing it and name it what we name it, right? Kaiso is supposed to be all year long. It have no reason for season when it comes to Kaiso, right? And this is what we're doing with all that in Kaiso. So when you come to all that in Kaiso, you're going to get Pikong, as Mistah Shak say, you could get bois, you could get whip, and you're sure going to get my whole bag of honesty, plus you're getting shadow sun.
Wow. But
you know, so it's not something that you would want to miss.
And it begs the question, though, because sometimes it feels as though so much effort and focus is placed upon, and I don't want to go back to your tune, but we go into the crown, on winning that crown as opposed to really paying attention to the energy that of what is a Kaiso and what makes a good Kaiso, a Kaiso that will last. Because sometimes after that you're done, you don't hear that again and you're really missing nothing certain ways. As opposed to say every time you hear just the intro, not even, you didn't even reach band chorus, but just the intro for the song, and they say, yes, you know long, and you're ready to sing along and these sorts of things. But do you think that, how does that competition impact the Kaiso?
I think there was a time where the competition was a part of the culture and the art form, because for me, I always see the carnival as a ceremony. If we have that last event, which is the March Gras, that's open up a Juve, that is a ceremony. Even the last lap that is closed is a ceremony. And also there was a thing about the March Gras that was part of the ceremony of carnival that was really important. But of recent times, it has become obsolete in the sense of it does not reflect Calypso. It reflects the opinion of some people on a table on that particular night. But it does not reflect generally, because I always challenge people, go in the tent and then listen to that March Gras after, and you're going to ask yourself, so what about this one? What about that one? Because it started to become designed a certain way. It started to become designed that a certain type of song does win. It started designed where a certain type of melody does win. And then we have a situation where it also no longer encouraging songwriters. So we can hope for no Black Stallion and no Shadow and no Spoiler again, because nobody's not thinking about putting their personality and expressing their thoughts. It's easier to buy a man's thoughts and express that on the March Gras night. So now we have about 6 contestants singing the same, because the people writing the song not even musical enough to put melody to it. So we have a standard that going on, that people thinking that the culture going downhill, but that is not true. The competition going downhill. The competition, because of it, also becomes this big place where Calypso could earn something. So everybody focuses on that. But so we stop seeing that Calypso is our music. And with music, you gotta try to be different sometimes. Sometimes you push the norm, and you understand. But it's not about winning that title, because that title does not mean anything. But just that one carnival, yeah, your song was nice for some judges. But after that, I mean, come on, how much people would have stopped Mistah Shak in the road and tell him about boy that never win? How many people might have talked to Spicey, boy, I like the crown, I like my honesty. That didn't win. You understand? I mean, and that's the truth about the art form. The competition forces a lot of artists to write a type of song that can't fit internationally, cannot sing outside of the season. It's just designed for competition, creating a narrative that the public believe that Kaiso's thing is happening in Carnival with this pampadai style and a boop skip drum.
I think you have that in a band chorus of one of your songs too, you know, in terms of like Shadow Sun. But Spicey, talk to me now. Do you feel that pull and tug, or do you feel sometimes I should get them what they want? And how it is you deal when that voice jump into your head a little bit?
I just have to remind myself, the title, the focus for me, the title is the title of Calypsonian, right? And I think that is what, well, let me rephrase this now. That is what everyone who's singing Calypso should achieve, the title of Calypsonian. The Calypsonian is the one who is sing and perform the song, the one who is write and perform the song. Understand? And that's the title that they should be aiming for. Whereas the competition concern, as you would know from one of my songs, I am the Bush Monarch. I would go out and compete, and I go in any way and every way to compete because I want people to hear the song. The purpose I write is because I expressing views of not only my views, because I show when I sing some of them things, people is boy, yeah, boy, you know that's true. And sometimes it might be something that would uplift or help to encourage somebody else to do the right thing. For instance, the advice, you know, that is to encourage those who facing abuse, whether mental, physical, financial, they're facing abuse. You don't want to take it, go. You know, so when I write these songs, I just want to sing them. The only place or space that it have, other than during the carnival season for a Calypsonian, is in the competition. So whether it's a small competition or a big competition, I take it as an opportunity for people to hear Spicey. So I would always jump in the competition. When I jump in the competition, I'm not competing with them, you know. I'm trying to give my best performance to better the last one.
So when I jump in, can't remember it, you didn't want me there.
all that in Kaiso, but I know we didn't talk about the exact date itself. I know it's a few days before we start chucking seeds in the ground and stuff for Corpus Christi. But tell us exactly when is the show, where is it, and how can people get on to more information from you? Thanks.
All that in Kaiso will be held at Cafe Blue on Ryson Road, Sunday, 4th of June at 7 p.m. sharp. The tickets are $250. To get tickets, you can purchase at Cafe Blue, or you could call 769-5173 or 766-4756 or 475-8208 to get your tickets.
Hear the diction with it. We want to thank you very much, 𝘇 𝘇. We want to thank you, Sharlan Bailey. We want to thank you, Spicey, Tammico more. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.